Ramadan is a time for reflection, for sure. But, for a lot of us who train, it also brings this nagging fear. Is all this fasting going to destroy my hard earned muscle? It's a huge concern, right? But what if I told you the science suggests you can not only preserve your gains, but actually thrive? Today, we're going to build the ultimate game plan to do just that. So let's just get right into it. Does fasting automatically mean you're going to lose muscle? I mean, it's the fear that makes us second guess every diet. We've all heard that it's just this unavoidable trade-off you have to make. But is that really the whole story?
It turns out that fear isn't just pulled out of thin air. It's actually rooted in what we see in typical everyday weight loss studies. So before we bust this myth wide open, let's first get into why we're so worried about losing our gains in the first place.
We've all seen it happen. The number on the scale goes down and we're celebrating. But here's the hard truth. When you lose weight, you're not just shedding fat. You're also losing what's called lean mass. And yep, that includes your hard-won muscle.
And this is where it gets kind of scary. A major study, the Diet Fits trial, found that in a typical diet, up to a third of every pound you lose isn't fat. It's lean mass. Just think about that for a second. For every 3 pounds you drop, 1 whole pound could be muscle. So yeah, no wonder we're worried. But okay, here's where the story takes a really fascinating turn. The rules that apply to typical dieting, well, they don't seem to apply to the unique cycle of Ramadan. Something very different is happening in our bodies when we practice this specific kind of intermittent fasting. And this, right here, is the game changer. That daily cycle of fasting and then refueling seems to send a totally different signal to your body. So instead of panicking and breaking down precious muscle for energy, your body responds in a completely different and way more protective way. And look, this isn't just a hunch. A huge meta-analysis, that's a study of a bunch of other studies, so it's a big deal, found no significant muscle loss in people fasting for Ramadan compared to people who weren't. But believe it or not, it gets even better than just not losing muscle. Get this. Some studies found that people doing intermittent fasting didn't just preserve their muscle, they actually saw a small but very real increase in fat-free mass. This completely flips the old script on its head. It means you could potentially lose fat while gaining muscle. I mean, that's the holy grail of body recomposition. Okay, but there's a really crucial exception here. This isn't automatic. Fasting by itself is not some magic bullet. To unlock this incredible muscle-preserving power, there's one piece of the puzzle you absolutely cannot afford to ignore. Just look at this Japanese pilot study. A group followed a 12-week intermittent fasting plan, but with no exercise guidance at all. And the result? They lost almost 3 pounds of muscle. This proves it. Fasting is only half the equation. What you do when you're not fasting is what makes all the difference in the world. So if just fasting isn't the whole answer, then what is? Thankfully, the solution is actually incredibly simple. It all comes down to a really straightforward 2-step playbook for success. Here it is. Step 1, you must do resistance training. You have to give your muscles a reason to stick around. So train after iftar when you're fueled and hydrated. And step 2, you must feed those muscles. Pack your suhoor and iftar meals with enough protein to repair and rebuild. That's it. It's really that simple, but it is so, so powerful. Now, why do we even care so much about all this? Well, preserving your lean mass during Ramadan isn't just about looking good or staying strong in the gym. It has these profound implications for your overall long-term health. More muscle literally means a faster metabolism, so you're burning more calories even when you're just sitting on the couch. And tons of research shows a direct link between having healthy muscle mass and a lower risk of heart disease and metabolic issues. So this isn't just about getting through this month. It's about building a healthier, more resilient body for decades to come. So let's reframe the goal for this Ramadan. Let's just forget about simply losing weight. The real prize, the real goal is body recomposition, dropping fat while holding onto, or maybe even building, that crucial metabolically active muscle. And that really leaves us with one final question to think about. With the right strategy, combining that resistance training and getting enough protein with your fast, this Ramadan can be a powerful opportunity, not just for spiritual reflection, but for fundamentally improving your body's health for the long haul. The choice is yours.